Black Noir remains to be one of the more popular characters in The Boys, and of course, the character's identity is the center point of discussion for fans of the show. I've seen a lot of discussion on Twitter about Black Noir in the last few weeks, and at this point, I think a lot of people out on the internet are pretty hip to the major plot twist from the comics, at least as it relates to Black Noir and Homelander. Now, our Homelander and Black Noir videos have been viewed quite a bit here on YouTube, and we're basically the only channel making full character breakdown videos, at least when we started, so there's a good chance that the internet has us to blame for outing the Black Noir and Homelander relationship to the general masses. But as the show and the source material continues to diverge, the plot twist is seemingly less and less likely. So today's video is going to cover who we think are most likely the characters to be behind Black Noir's mask when the big reveal is made. Today's video is sponsored by Surfshark. Here at Key Issues, we spend a lot of time online, and we're guessing that you do too. The average person spends between 6 and 8 hours a day online. Surfshark helps encrypt your data so that when you're online, you're protected. We've been using Surfshark for a while now here at Key Issues, and its functionality is pretty incredible. It has a feature called Hack Lock to get alerts anytime your email address or password is compromised. One thing I've grown to hate online recently is targeted advertisements based off my Google or Amazon searches. Surfshark protects you from that junk by keeping your data encrypted and safe. It even has a search feature called Blind Search that basically lets you search the internet without worrying that your results are going to be skewed based off previous things that you searched for. Another thing I love to do using Surfshark is browse other countries' Netflix. I can just switch my location to the UK, and suddenly I have access to films that in the US are locked behind a bunch of subscriptions to a half a dozen other streaming services. For instance, I can switch to the UK, and now I can check out Venom, not that I want to, Deadpool, Rick and Morty, or It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And Surfshark isn't playing around when it comes to your satisfaction either. They have a 30-day money-back guarantee, and viewers of Key Issues are going to save a ton of money when using our coupon code. Get Surfshark VPN at the link you see on the screen now, and enter promo code KEY for 83% off and 3 extra months for free. Check the link in the description of the video for more info, and thanks again to Surfshark for sponsoring us. But now back to Black Noir theories. Obviously, the first and most prominent theory on the internet is that Black Noir is indeed a clone of Homelander, and for those of you unaware, in the comics, Homelander was cloned, and the cloned Homelander spent the majority of his time masquerading as Homelander while committing horrible acts. These horrible acts, such as eating live children, were all documented and then shown to the real Homelander, and over time, Homelander begins to lose his grip on reality, believing that he's going insane. His subsequent paranoia and fragility leads him to attempt to overthrow the US government and humanity. However, he learns the truth about Black Noir's escapades, the two fight, and Black Noir easily overpowers and kills Homelander. It's looking less and less likely that this is going to be a possibility for the version of Black Noir and Homelander within the actual television show. The reason being is, the character of Black Noir is definitely dark-skinned. This opens up the door to understanding who else could possibly be under the mask. The most popular theory I've seen online, and the one that we originally thought of, was that it's the character of Giancarlo Esposito's Stan Edgar. The prominent theory here originally was that this character is secretly a superhero under the mask, but as time has progressed, this has almost certainly become not the case due to the fact that we have seen the character of Stan Edgar communicate directly with Black Noir. There's just too much suspension of disbelief here. The actor of Giancarlo Esposito is significantly shorter than the Black Noir character, and the actor playing Black Noir is significantly more muscular in the costume, even without the added padding. And this leads me to kind of a branch off theory, which is something that I've been kind of theory crafting for a little while, and it's that the character is actually Stan Edgar's son, or even a clone of Stan Edgar himself. And considering the evidence we have, I'd probably lean more towards the son route than the clone route. After all, despite the fact that in the comic books Black Noir is a clone of Homelander, there's no direct evidence that cloning exists within the show world yet. After all, the cloning of Homelander was probably the biggest reveal in the books, and it leads me to think that the show wouldn't want to piggyback off that type of reveal or attempt to replicate it in some weird twist. Also think, why would anybody care about cloning Stan Edgar? If you're going to clone someone in this universe, you should probably clone somebody super. However, I do think that the most likely route for the show to travel would be to have the character be Edgar's offspring, and there's quite a bit of evidence leading me to think that this is probably going to be what the reveal is. But first, I want to start by discussing one of the central and recurring themes in the show, which is parental issues. After all, the show deals heavily with relationships between parents and their children. Think of the countless examples of the strained or downright bad relationships between parents and their children within the show. Homelander didn't have a true parental figure growing up in basically a laboratory environment. Billy Butcher had issues with his father that were laid out recently that stemmed from his father's abuse and his brother's death. Huey and his father's relationship was destroyed when Robin died and he chose a new path. Starlight and her mother's relationship is strained when she found out the source of her powers. MM has no relationship with his kids after choosing to help Billy, as well as his checkered past history with his father. Lamplighter discussed becoming a hero to make his parents proud. And Maeve's life was basically all about mall appearances and being a cash cow for her family, and I believe this is probably a really big clue as to why the theory that Black Noir is actually Edgar's offspring is probably correct. I want to give you a specific scene that I think now, shown in context, reveals a lot about Black Noir. During the press conference, when the superheroes of the world find out that they were not born with powers but instead given them by Compound V, we see that Black Noir is extremely upset. Up until this point, we hadn't really seen Black Noir show any emotion ever. Considering Compound V was the closest guarded secret within Vought and no one else in the Seven even knew about it, it's safe to say that this was news to Black Noir. Black Noir is shown in the hallway near his own statue, crying uncontrollably and watching the press conference about Compound V. If Black Noir was indeed the offspring of Stan Edgar, the shock that his dad would do that to him and lie his whole life was probably a lot, as it was for most of the other superheroes in the world. Oftentimes in comics, a hero establishes their code of conduct from the parental figures in their life. Superman's often called the Big Blue Boy Scout due to his upbringing by Jonathan Kent. Spider-Man's famous "with great power must also come great responsibility" line came from his Uncle Ben. Batman's whole identity and code is formed from the death of his parents and trying to follow their example. It's possible that Black Noir is just trying to make his dad proud. His actions are basically whatever his father deems to be necessary to protect his company and family. If Stan Edgar had a kid, and he is indeed as ruthless as we all believe he might be, it's not remotely outside of the realm of possibility that his son was subjected to a tremendous amount of Compound V. This also explains why Black Noir goes on missions without the rest of the Seven's knowledge, it's why he's been tasked specifically with hunting the Boys members, and it's why he has direct access via comms to Edgar when no one else is given orders like this on the Seven. He's basically doing covert work for Stan Edgar only. Now, that is my most educated guess on who Black Noir might actually be, but I have heard some rumblings that we might never actually find out who Black Noir is underneath the mask, and that it's not necessarily important within this version of The Boys, but I think that would be a major letdown for fans. I think that the mystery behind the character is one of the more important things within the show's mythos right now, and I think that avoiding that completely and kind of ditching it might really upset the core fan base of the show. And that is it for this video, but we want to hear what you think. What are your theories about Black Noir? We would love to read them and then steal them as our own and make a new video. No, I'm kidding, but we do want to know what you think. If you've picked together some Easter eggs and you found out something that you think we missed, hit us up down below and let us know what you think. Thank you again to Surfshark for sponsoring this video. This has been Nick with Key Issues. Remember to like and subscribe and all that other YouTuber stuff. And remember the motto, Black Noir over everything.